Welcome, my friend. Today, I want to talk about something, in my opinion, very, very important that a lot of people underestimate and don't talk about that often. And that is overindulgence. Now, I think that you're familiar with the term because otherwise you wouldn't click on this video. But, anyways, for the most of my life, like for the biggest part of my life, I've been a very, very big person when it comes to overindulging and getting addicted to things. And I'm not talking about alcohol and weed. Thanks God I've never been addicted to those things, but I'm talking about bad habits and overindulgence in things such as social media, porn, TikTok, junk foods, and all of the bad habits that you can think of. Like, what could average like 14 to 17-year-old teenager overindulge in? And I've done all of that. It's like you name it, I did it. I used to play video games for 8 to 12 to 16 hours every single day. I was not just playing, but like literally grinding. Like I was growing, and even at some point, I was even making money from the games, which is ridiculous because I literally used to play tournaments and raise like, I don't know, like $8, sometimes $15 and stuff like that. I was just grinding my ass off. When everyone would leave, I would just still sit and play video games. So I couldn't stop. Like it's literally in every bad habit that I had, like it was a really big struggle for me to simply stop. Because I don't know why, maybe it's the childhood trauma or whatever else, but I always had this problem with stopping with something that feels good. Whether it's video games, as I mentioned earlier, whether it's social media or porn or junk food especially, because from the age of 11 to 16, I was very, very overweight and I nearly ended up having diabetes at the age of 14 or 15. I was like 85 kilos, which is insane. And thanks to me and to the universe that I've been able to escape all of those habits. Like now it's gotten to the point where you name the bad habit and I've had it and I've quit it. I've been able to quit porn. I haven't even watched any of that bullshit for a year and a half at this point, and I haven't even been, I literally didn't have social media for more than a year. Now you may or may not know that my previous video was actually about quitting social media for 1.5 years, and if you already watched it, let me know down in the comments what you think about it, and if you didn't, then click, I'm gonna leave it in the description, go and watch it. It's just amazing. I've literally just explained everything I could when it comes to quitting social media, why it's important for you and why, like, you know, everyone should do this because it's literally a savior. Like it just played a very big part in terms of my self-improvement and overcoming bad habits and just getting into the gym and getting better with talking to people, like whatever you can imagine. So enough talking. Today I want to share with you 4 biggest steps that you can take towards quitting these bad habits, which is overindulgence. And yes, I do think that this is a habit. And even though I think that a lot of people are wired from the beginning to be less or more sensitive to things that feel good or feel bad, like they might be able to detach from things more easily or detach from things in a harder way. So I think you know what I mean. But yeah, even though that is probably the case, of which I've been able to observe in my own life and in the life of people that I care about, like just making this big research on the people that I talk to and the people that I watch online, like I think that everyone from the beginning has this tendency to be more or less sensitive to things. But I don't think that this is an excuse. Like many people, and you've probably seen many of them as well, they find 101 excuse for why they're not doing what they want to do, why they're not where they want to be, why they're still going out and drinking like 5 times a week. Those who want to change will always find a way to change, and that is just my philosophy for life. So, but anyways, without further ado, let's just get into it. And the first habit I want to talk about is that you need to learn to get off your ego. Now, what I mean by this, so long story short, as I mentioned before, I was always like the type of person that is very, very much of a guy who is an overindulger in things. And always when I did something bad, like whether it's porn or social media or junk food, whatever, I regretted it at that exact moment. And I promised to myself that I'm not gonna do that, like this is bad for me and all the rest of it. But my ego always found a way to justify me, like, okay, this is going to be one more thing, like you really deserve it, you really can't do this, like you're not that down bad that you need to really think about your nutrition. Like why would you think what you're eating right now at the morning? You could be thinking about something bigger, something which is more meaningful, which is going to bring more meaningful things to your life. But when I learned to basically observe my mind, I'm going to talk about it in the first point, which is going to be about meditation. But for now, it's just that you need to learn to observe your mind and actually stop lying to yourself when it comes to doing bad things. Like you need to learn to be honest, at least with yourself. I know that it's hard, and I know that you probably won't be able to work with it from the beginning and like get actual results that seem like something big and worthy. And that is another point, because a lot of people just give up when they don't see like the big chunk of results and the big chunk of outcomes within like the short amount of time. So they just basically dump themselves from the beginning. But if you manage to stop lying to yourself when it comes to overindulgence, especially, if you can just like sit down and admit, okay, I'm a person who tends to overindulge in stuff. I like to eat a lot of pizzas, burgers, or whatever that you like eating. I overindulge in that stuff. Like maybe I'm on social media too much. Maybe I should stop watching porn. Like maybe there is something wrong with me, and you need to sit down and admit it. Like, there is a room for improvement. You're not perfect, and you have to let go of your ego. You can start from that, and then you can just learn about stuff like, how do I quit this bad habit? How do I quit this bad habits? And you commit for it for a long period of time, and you understand that this takes time and this is going to suck at first, which is alright, and which is like the natural part of the process that you need to get used to. But trust me, like, this is coming from a person who's been able to quit social media for a year and a half and porn for nearly 2 years. It's absolutely worth it. Pain of discipline, like you've probably heard it many times, pain of discipline is always better than the pain of regret. And so you just need to stop lying to yourself. And honestly, you can just click off this video right now because it's basically been the most important point of this video. But I think if you keep watching, you'll get a lot of important insights as well, especially the last point. So the second step is answering a simple question. Why do you want to quit it? Why do you care about quitting, like stopping the overindulgent things? Why do you care about getting rid of your bad habits? And I know that it sounds cliche, get rid of your bad habits, get on self-improvement, go to the gym, meditate, whatever, do this self-improvement good stuff. And everyone around telling you like, why? You need to find your why. And I've been one of those people, like literally like a few videos ago I was talking about the exact same thing. But it is okay to not know why exactly in the long term you want to quit it. But I think that it's worth thinking about it and answering this question at least in the short term. Like, why do I want to stop overindulging in junk food? Maybe I want to get fitter, maybe I want to get into the gym and this thing is just simply stopping me. Maybe it just gives me this brain fog that I'm unable to study or work with. Like, you need to establish this small, probably a really small reason why you want to quit it. Like, you might say, yeah, like I want to improve my life, I want to be the best of the best, I want to get to the gym, get super jacked and make a lot of money. That is great, don't get me wrong, but I'm just telling you that you need to set big goals, but then you need to like split them up into things that you can manage, and which is the thing that a lot of people underestimate. And again, I'm one of those people, but I think that knowledge is really revealed from talking about things. Like, if you remember something and you say it out loud, you remember it, and that's why I love talking about it. So yeah, you want to ask yourself, why do you want to do this in the short term? Maybe you like this particular girl, and by getting fatter, she is more likely to like you back. Maybe you just want to get a better sleep. Maybe you just want to get a better diet, in a better shape. And this is a hell of a reason, to be honest, because for me, from the beginning, the biggest reason for me doing anything was to just get fit, because I used to be very, very overweight. And by basically answering this question, like, why do I want to get into the gym? Why do I want to stop watching TikTok for 9 hours a day? My answer was that because I want to stop being fat. I want to stop being a lazy fat fuck that is doing nothing with his life. And that was a hell of a reason. That was a hell of a motivation for me to wake up in the morning or just go to the gym in the evening for 6-7 times a week for a year and a half straight without skipping a single week. And that leads us to my third point, which is you need to detox yourself from it. Restrict yourself forcefully from those bad habits for some time. Now, if you're overindulging in social media, let's say, you can set yourself a goal that you're not going to be sitting on social media basically for, like more than 1 hour and a half every single day. And this doesn't have to like just happen overnight. So tomorrow you just don't go on social media if you've been overindulging in this stuff for years, like for 5+ hours every single day. You're not going to be able to go straight to 1 hour. If you manage to get from 5 to 3 hours in 2 weeks, that is a huge improvement. You need to be able to extend the timeline and give yourself more time to accomplish goals. And because this is sort of like gradual improvement, it's not meant to make things easier, basically, And probably the biggest sort of like tip that I can give on this is that you just need to eliminate the triggers, and that's basically it. Like, you don't basically need to do anything else. If you manage to like unfollow every single girl on Instagram so that you don't have a reason to just randomly check up on their stories every single time you pick up your phone, you just throw away like the half, or base case scenario, all of your junk food to a bin, and you just don't buy it for like the next 3 weeks. If you really want to stop overindulging and teach yourself and basically understand your mind and stop this cycle of overindulging and regretting, you need to be able to detox yourself from those things in the first place. You need to make your brain, you need to be bored. You need to make your brain forget about them and not listen to your brain's signals when you just like, you didn't eat sugar for like 12 hours. Now you have to eat sugar. Like, I remember my brain saying this exact thing and I was like, bitch, you're not getting anything. So this is the main point to remember. You need to eliminate triggers, and I don't even have to go in depth in it because I'm sure that you understand what I'm talking about and what the triggers are. You need to become bored and, I don't know, for example, start reading a book. There's a really good book that I have. It's called The Essentialism by Greg McKeown. I hope I pronounced it properly. It's essentially about essentialism. So quitting things that do not matter in your life and focusing on the vital few instead of like the trivial many. This is a really good book, but unfortunately I haven't been able to read it till the end yet. But yeah, coming back to my third point, it's that I don't think that you can quit a habit itself. You can only replace it with something. So if you are to, as I love to say it, quit bad habits, you need to not just quit it, but replace it with something. Because if you quit it, you will probably just come back to it very soon, because you won't be able to fill this like literally gap that is emerging in your life from quitting this bad habit. So let's just say you want to quit video games, you want to stop overindulging in it so much and just maybe play once a week or whatever. You can replace it with reading books. Now, if your attention span is too bad to read books, which I understand because I've been there, I couldn't literally read a single paragraph of a book until the age of 17 or like 16 and a half, which is ridiculous. But even though that is the truth about me, I've been able to read like a lot of stuff recently in the past few months. I've been reading a lot of books, and I think that is the best replacement you can get to video games or to social media or like whatever the bad habit with visual, like basically watching something or playing, like consuming something with your eyes. Reading is by far the best replacement of all those things. Now, when it comes to junk food, probably the best replacement is just a healthy food. Like instead of eating sugar, you can just start eating fruits. Now, fruits still have sugar inside of it, but it doesn't mean that you should stop eating fruits when you're just quitting. Like, I don't know, if you eat ice creams like Ben & Jerry every single day, you shouldn't be just jumping straight on like carnivore diet and not eating any fruits. Again, this is just about the gradual improvement. So closing on this video, my last point is you need to practice meditation. Now, the reason why meditation is so important, and if you watched till this moment, then I have so much respect for you, because after my first point, I said that you can click off this video basically because it was the most important part of this video, which is true. But this point compared with first one, they're just like, it's the killer pair. Those two are life changers. Because when I started to meditate, like the thing about meditation is that you literally learn to observe your mind. And if you're able to observe your mind, this is going to change a lot in your life and not just in bad habits. You will, yes, stop overindulging, because every single time you will just instinctively have this thought of like, should I do this? Like you'll be able to ask yourself in your mind and absorb what you're thinking about. Like, should I really do this? Should I really go on this website? Like, I know what that's going to lead me to. Should I really scroll on Instagram for 6 hours this day? Like, probably not. And that's what meditation teaches you. Now, if you are going to meditate, please, I beg you, please, don't stop meditating after you don't see any like improvement in 5 days. It takes weeks and months. Like, I've meditated for 170 or 160 days in a row without skipping a single day. And probably on the day 80, I really noticed like the big, like the huge change. Like I started to really observe my mind and kind of control my thoughts and regulate my emotions better. It's the best practice that you can do for your mental health, probably compared with journaling, but this is not a video about mental health. If you manage to meditate and manually implement those thoughts, like those questions, should you really be doing this? Is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? You will just naturally start to ask yourself those questions, and it will be so much easier. It's a shortcut, it's a cheat code, however you want to call it. You will be able to quit and stop indulging in bad habits so much faster. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this video valuable, and if so, then please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.